Welcome to the SharkPrenuer podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today I have the good fortune to be joined by my new friend, Tucker Bearden. I was just a speaker at the Authority Maker Boot Camp put on by Anthony Funk. And out of all the speakers I saw there, and there were quite a few, I gotta admit the most inspiring story I heard came from Tucker. So after he spoke, there was a line of people wanting to talk to him and a number of people wanting to hug this young man for what he went through and what the empowering, inspiring message he's sharing today. So I was super excited to get him on the show. Tucker, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, brother. It's an honor to actually get to come on here and speak with you. I'm actually a big fan of yours. I was just happy to get on your show. I mean,
well, that is very nice of you. I really appreciate it. So let's go back in time a little bit. Let's tell folks, where you came from and what you've overcome to get to where you are now.
Well, I mean, where I actually come from is a little place on the side of the Arkansas River. It's really hard to find on Google Maps, and the only way you're going to find it is if you know where you're going. It's called Rising Star. It's exactly 52 miles from the closest town. I mean, we grew up hunting. I mean, just living the real life in the woods, and then finally I come to the city, and there's all these people, and it's just an overwhelming experience that at first was nearly impossible to handle and actually put me in the hospital on multiple occasions. Because, see, I have Asperger's, which is a neurological abnormality that hinders one's natural abilities to understand social cues and emotional responses. But the biggest problem is that the more people that are around, the harder it is to sustain your composure, to even breathe correctly. And it's hard to explain, but your body just begins to shut down and all your muscles contract and your heart will actually stop at a certain point. And it just becomes overwhelming. And I wanted to step out, and I wanted to be a part of society and function like normal people. So it took me going to places and forcing myself to interact with people, forcing myself to talk to others and talk to strangers, whether it be a compliment, walking by them, or actually walking up, shaking their hand, introducing myself and having a conversation. That was required over and over again. And I on many, many occasions, out by myself, which was really stupid. I shouldn't have done it, but going out by myself and doing this, I hospitalized myself over and over again trying to overcome that. And like one of the biggest things that helped me was like I started working with racehorses, and something about working with a horse, like it. I can't really explain it. It's something you'd have to live it to understand it. But being around a horse is not like being around a person. Like they have a sixth sense that is astronomically more in tune than ours. And when you're around them every single day, like there's a connection that grows between you and that animal, and it forces you to be. I don't know if it's to say a better person, but I don't know. It forced me to be a better version of myself, because if I came to work in a bad mood and I was aggravated and everything, like especially back when I was a greenhorn, like they would push you around, they'll bully you, they'll pick on you, like they know that you're aggravated and they will aggravate aggravate the hell out of me. And then I noticed when I came to work in a good mood and I was like just excited for no reason, like they were more cooperative. And I had a really good experience with them, and it wasn't so bad. And that process of realizing that, like, and then attempting to recreate that every single day was what led me to being so comfortable out in public, if that makes any sense. Like, it was a connection to something for the first time. It was like, because I can't, you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So how has having Asperger's and dealing with those issues and then working with horses, which ultimately makes you more comfortable around people, how has that kind of informed, who you are and what you're trying to do with your message?
Well, I mean, basically my message is I'm living proof that a diagnosis doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define what you're capable of, and it shouldn't hold you back from doing anything that you dream about doing. The first time that I saw a TED Talk, the first time I saw somebody stand up there and share an idea that opened up people's eyes, and you could see this, like you could see the spark in their eye whenever they woke up and were like, wow, like that right there, like to me that lit a fire in my soul. Like, and that I just knew, like I was like, wow, that's what I'm supposed to do. And the definition of my diagnosis is that I can't do that. And I'm proof that anybody, anybody with not only disabilities, but simply fears. I mean, social anxiety is not something that's just a neurological abnormality in people. It's a fear that people have to overcome. And I want to show people and prove to people that if you do certain practices, neurological practices, every single day, and you do certain things every single day to work towards little tiny steps towards what it is that you're trying to do, that even with doctors and psychiatrists trying to feed you expensive medications and telling you that it's safer to stay inside, you can go out there and do what it is that you want to do. And I'm proof of that. I stood on that stage in Vegas, and I spoke in front of those people. And if you would have asked a psychiatrist if I could have done that, they would have told you that.
That is amazing. So you created systems and rituals to help you deal with your situation. And are you now, and those have set you up for success. You've built a successful business. So are you now sharing what you learned in those systems and rituals that helped you with your issues with other folks who may have different issues, may have the same issue, may have issues that are not as significant or more so, and then they can learn kind of from your trial and error and shortcut that process and, improve their lives faster?
Yes, that is, that is the ultimate goal of what I want to end up doing with my public speaking. Many people call it motivational speaking. I call it inspirational speaking, because motivation lasts a day, inspiration lasts a lifetime. I want to teach people who not only people on the spectrum, but people off the spectrum, the little tricks and processes that I went through that worked for me personally and have worked for other people, like how to overcome these situations, whether it be social anxiety or fears of other ways. And it's little things you would never think of, like whenever you're in public and you all of a sudden feel like everybody is staring at you and judging you all at one time, and it comes from every angle, literally laughing and talking trash, the exact opposite of what people tell you to do. People tell you to empower yourself, but literally laughing at yourself and talking trash, being like, what are you doing? You're being stupid right now. What is wrong with you? Like little stuff like that. And there's a lot of those, but if you practice it, and you can overcome nearly anything when it comes to anxiety. It's crazy.
Oh, first, sign me up for the program. I'd love to learn from you. Second, you said something that really resonated with me. I first started in marketing because I was a magician, and I wanted to do more shows and get paid better for it when I was much younger. And when I first started learning from Dan Kennedy, the first lead generation report I ever wrote for Magic was I billed myself as an inspirational speaker. And literally the tagline of that report was motivation is temporary, inspiration radiates from within.
Hey,
so
I
the
love
fact
it.
that you 20 plus years later, you've literally like written the same, said the same exact message, man, I got goosebumps.
Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me grab something.
Hang on, folks. This is the beauty of live television. We can pause.
Okay, I got it. This is actually, you got one of them at the show when we were there, but I don't know if the camera is going to allow this. But
I see motivation lasts a day, inspiration lasts a lifetime on the back of your business card. That's awesome.
Like that, I believe that honestly. If you teach people, I mean, it's kind of like if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And
spoken by a fisherman.
Yes. And that's what the goal is honestly with all of this is to be able to teach people these little bitty processes. It's not even like an overwhelming. It's not like handing someone a Bible and saying, here's how you be a good person. It's honestly, it's like, it's these little tiny processes that people can do throughout their day that help you overcome these things that seem like sometimes it seems like a whole army coming at you. Like it really does.
Awesome. Now, what we didn't get to see on the business card is the rest of the information. So for our folks who are listening to this, who are watching this, who are resonating with what you're saying, who are inspired by you as I am, what is the best way for them to get in contact with you? What's the best way for them to learn more about the programs and speaking that you offer so that they can benefit from this too?
Well, I am still in the process of setting up programs. You can contact me through Facebook. I'm on Facebook with just Tucker Bearden, but if you want to see my Facebook page, it's Tucker Bearden Inspiring the World. If you want to get in touch with me personally, my personal number is 501-625-2342. My email address is tuckerbearden4321@gmail.com. You can contact me at any one of these. I generally get back pretty quickly. If I don't, I will get back as quick as I can.
Wow. Okay, so that's a rarity. Someone sharing their personal cell phone and direct email on the show as opposed to the company one. We greatly appreciate that, Tucker. You are and will continue to be an inspiration, I know. I'm looking forward to learning from you. Thank you so much for being on.
Hey, not a problem, brother. Anytime. Much obliged. It's been a blessing.
Amen. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for listening to this special productivity series of the Direct Response Marketing Podcast. I've interviewed hundreds of the most successful entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and CEOs all over the world, and I want to share with you one of the biggest ways I've discovered to triple your productivity that I've learned from these amazing people. Even better, I'll pay you $500 to test drive it. Just go to takethe500challenge.com. That's www.takethe500challenge.com to learn more. Thanks so much for listening.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.